So here's the difference between a brand and a brand authority, and why it's important for us to talk about, because brand authorities are missing right now in marketing, and it's the best way to win and to differentiate yourself against the competition. Mm-hmm. So I think we can talk about a brand authority through a case study example, because we saw two fantastic brand authorities in the land of brands, Los Angeles. We were in Hollywood last weekend for a client, and we got to experience Face Gym. And I think in talking after our experience of Face Gym, there was a great way to explain the power of brand authority and what they were doing right. So Face Gym is a brand that I've only ever seen online. They have locations in New York, Los Angeles, London, and Australia. And I really wanted to try it, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be like, hype and bust or a fantastic experience. So it's really interesting, before we get into it, why this was a unique brand that I wanted to try, because we work a lot in medical aesthetics. It's very few brands that have a standalone store for one brand of facial. So what you see a lot in the medical aesthetics world is they will have 2 to 3 or 4 facials of other brands. Right? So you'll see like Biologique, or you'll see SkinCeuticals or Lumiere, but typically spas aren't branded by one brand for a facial. So that was really interesting to go into it.
I think what helps this discussion, or people understand, is understanding the definition of authority.
Yeah.
And authority is the ability to settle or make claims or give directions over controversial issues.
Yeah.
So think of it from a brand. If you have brand authority, you can settle disputes or give the answer definitively. So how do you give your brand the authority to make a pronouncement?
Because what you have to do is stake a claim and ensure that whatever you stake, anything that the brand does outwardly from that is in line and strategic. And that's why I wanted to explain that key point of them being a standalone facial brand, because that's them staking an authority or staking a claim, right? So when we went in there, it was a really cool and interesting experience. So Face Gym is it's basically branded as a workout for your face. So you get all of the same things that you would get if you went to a facial, but in addition to that, you get facial massages, and you're basically building up the muscles in your face to be stronger and to produce more collagen, opposed to just putting on topical creams that are supposed to be miracle workers. So the story goes that this woman, Inga, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, she was a kind of a skincare like junkie and beauty guru, and she wrote for the Financial Times. And she had gone through some bad experiences with injectables, and it looks like some potential facial surgeries. And she was bedridden because something went wrong. And I guess she had gone on this like spiritual journey and did ayahuasca, and this brainchild baby was born, and she executed it to the T of what I guess transpired during her ayahuasca awakening experience. It's funny because what you're thinking is like her authority from her past history, but when you talk about brand authority, I think consistency, and I think that's also what they did really well. They have the story, they have the background, but they're also really great at consistently executing the claim that they're staking. And I think that was one of the best parts about the experience, is that no detail was untouched, but no detail was extra. Like, it was perfect for executing that brand universe and that claim that they're making.
But what I think from a business perspective is interesting, and I was hoping you'd pick up on it, is once you've got that brand authority, I will now listen to you when you tell me what I need to do.
Totally.
Right? And so now you can prescribe directions to me as a consumer, and I'll voluntarily follow you because you're the authority in that area.
And extend verticals that make sense for purchase. And I think that's what made the experience so great. So when I first walked in, there were products for purchase that were topical that allow you to continue that Face Gym journey at home. So they have tons of products, and they also have tons of devices. So tools to kind of maintain that tightness and lift that you're going to be getting at the in-studio or the brick and mortar store. What I loved, the display was gorgeous, the packaging was consistent, the language that they used really spoke to these being trainers, and you're getting a workout for your face, which is fantastic for the target market persona, because was it's high performing people that want effective services. So it's not just like fluff and we're like slapping stuff on your face. Like you're actually getting something that is proactive for the aging process and great for especially like high performing corporate people. Like it's a really great massage for your TMG and your tight masters, which you typically tighten and clench when you're, and even the way that we justify the allocation of time, right? Like most performers, especially people in the cities that they've selected, really prioritize fitness and taking that hour a day to work out. So to translate for your face, which is like your most important feature, is such an intelligent brand position and authority to take because nobody else was taking it. And what I loved also quickly, about the brand is that the entire process and procedure was in line with that time blocking. So they start with the stretching and then they kind of go into more like vigorous activity. And then you kind of are at that like peak moment of the workout where it's the most intense. And then you start kind of coming down and then it goes into that relaxation period. So they've really mimicked your fitness experience in an intelligent way. I would say the only thing that I didn't like about the experience as far as recommending it for people to try was the price point. And I did feel that it was slightly outside of the price point that I felt comfortable in recommendation. Like it was just too expensive. I thought it was great. I thought it was something that I could totally see as part of my regular routine. But I think because it's so helpful for pain, stress points, performance, being just more relaxed and dealing with stress better, it should be something that could be put through insurance, which would be like, honestly, I'd move to LA. So much so that after I went, I was like, you have to go. And like, I made sure that you had an appointment to go in and experience because it was so different and they were so confident and their execution supported their claim that I am now forever an evangelist.